He didn't need reinforcements. The human was reinforcements. The Andari expanse stretched across 1,000 light-years of unexplored space, a region where the familiar maps of the Galactic Council ended and mystery began. Stars flickered faintly through cosmic dust, and nebulae swirled in colors no artist had yet captured. It was a place that terrified even the bravest explorers, for it was home to strange energies and phenomena that defied understanding. In the council chambers of the Thrin High Command, a reptilian species known for their strategic genius and pride in battle, alarms were ringing. Holomaps of entire star systems glowed across the room, showing a massive anomaly that pulsed with unpredictable energy. Alien fleets had begun assembling in response, preparing for a confrontation they didn't fully understand. Commander Raltek, a towering Thrin with jade-scaled armor and eyes that flickered like molten metal, studied the projections with grim focus. His claws tapped a steady rhythm on the console as he calculated fleet positions, energy reserves, and sensor feedback. He had faced many crises, from rogue starships to collapsing planets, but this anomaly was different. It did not act according to the rules of physics as his species understood them. It moved, it pulsed, and it seemed to respond to the fleet's own scans. "We've never seen anything like this," whispered one of his aides, a young Thrin officer named Vekra. "Even with full fleet coordination, we risk losing ships, and the Council wants reinforcements immediately." Raltek didn't look at her. "Reinforcements," he said slowly, his voice calm but heavy. "Do they know what they are sending?" The Council's voice crackled through the comm link, a chorus of different alien languages overlapping, yet perfectly translated by universal interpreters. "A human has been dispatched," it said. "Lieutenant Aaron Hayes from Earth's Interstellar Corps. He is to act as liaison and reinforcement." Raltek's scales prickled. A human, one, in the midst of this cosmic crisis. He had studied humans from reports and videos, mostly from old exploration logs. They were resilient, yes, but fragile. Their ships were small, their weapons rudimentary compared to the fleets of the Andari expanse. He had expected dozens of reinforcements, perhaps a squadron or an entire Earth-led task force. Not one. Minutes later, a small shuttle appeared in the docking bay of the High Command flagship. Its sleek design was almost laughable to the Thrin, polished metal, smooth curves, no visible weapons. The hatch opened, and Aaron Hayes stepped out. He was human in every obvious way. Medium height, lean but strong, with dark hair tied back and sharp eyes that seemed to miss nothing. On his back, he carried a compact toolkit, and at his side hovered a small, silver, spherical device that blinked softly, his AI assistant, Cora. The room fell silent. The Thrin were unused to humans arriving alone in situations where entire fleets hesitated. Some whispered nervously, others openly scoffed. Raltek's tail shifted, brushing the floor. "Lieutenant Hayes," he said in careful Thrin, "welcome." "I assume you are aware of the situation," Aaron smiled. "I've read the reports, I understand the anomaly and the fleet's concerns, but I'm not here to fight," he said, his voice steady and calm. "I'm here to help you understand it." Vekra rolled her eyes slightly. "Help? How can a single human help us? We have hundreds of ships, advanced technology, and battle experience." Aaron turned to her and shrugged. "Sometimes numbers aren't the solution. Sometimes a fresh perspective is more effective than 100 calculations." Raltek raised an eyebrow. There was a quiet confidence in the human, something he could not dismiss. He had faced warriors, tacticians, and scientists across the galaxy, but he had not seen anyone who approached a threat with such calm assurance so early in the confrontation. "Very well," Raltek said. "We will give you a chance to demonstrate your approach, but understand this, if your methods fail, we cannot guarantee the safety of our fleets or the surrounding systems." Aaron nodded. "Understood, let's start." The shuttle doors opened again, and the crew moved to the observation deck. From there, Aaron could see the anomaly for the first time. A massive, swirling void in space, brighter than a star but darker than the surrounding nebulae. It pulsed rhythmically, sending waves of strange energy that bent light and shimmered across the sensors. Ships hovered at safe distances, their shields glowing faintly. Aaron activated Cora. "Run a preliminary analysis on energy pulses. Compare with known cosmic phenomena and cross-reference with any irregular gravitational fluctuations." Cora hummed softly. "Processing. Initial results indicate a complex pattern of oscillating energy fields." No recorded phenomenon matches entirely, but some characteristics resemble subspace resonance effects and gravitational anomalies observed near collapsed stars. Aaron nodded, focusing. "It's alive," he said quietly. Vecra turned sharply, shocked. "Alive? That's impossible." "It's a natural phenomenon, a cosmic anomaly." Aaron shook his head. "It's reacting, not consciously maybe, but it responds to stimuli. The fleet scans are part of that stimulus. That's why you can't control it with numbers alone." Raltek leaned forward, intrigued despite himself. "Explain." Aaron stepped closer to the holomap, gesturing to the anomaly's pulsing patterns. "See these fluctuations? They're not random. Each time your scanners sweep across it, the pulses adjust slightly. It's like a conversation, but in energy. If you want to influence it, you need to respond in kind, not with brute force, but with understanding and creativity." Vecra frowned. "So what do you suggest, that we talk to it?" Aaron smiled faintly. "Exactly. But in ways it can understand. Energy patterns, frequency modulations, synchronized movements. If we approach it like a puzzle rather than a threat, we can stabilize it before it becomes dangerous." Raltek's tail twitched, a sign of cautious approval. "You are suggesting a method that no Thrin strategist has considered." Aaron shrugged again. "Humans adapt. We improvise. Sometimes that's enough to turn the tide when conventional methods fail." The alien commanders exchanged glances. They had heard stories of human ingenuity, how a single human could outthink 100 trained minds, but seeing it in person was different. Aaron was calm, not overwhelmed by the fleet's size, the anomaly's scale, or the Council's expectations. He seemed capable. "Very well," Raltek said finally. "Lieutenant Hayes, you will lead the initial approach. All fleets will observe and follow your instructions." Aaron's eyes lit up. "Understood." He glanced at Cora, who floated at his side, blinking. "Let's see what they're really made of." Outside the observation deck, the fleets waited, unsure of how a human mind could guide their vast formations. Ships shifted positions, sensors recalibrated, and alien commanders whispered nervously. Yet Aaron's presence brought a strange kind of confidence, quiet but undeniable. For the first time, the Thrin realized something they had always suspected but never admitted. Humans, despite their small size and lack of overwhelming technology, were different. Not stronger, not faster, not louder, but smarter in ways that mattered. They could see patterns others missed. They could improvise where protocols failed. They could turn chaos into order with nothing but thought and courage. Aaron took a deep breath, looking at the anomaly again. The waves of energy pulsed, unpredictable yet strangely rhythmic. To anyone else it was terrifying. To him it was a challenge, and challenges were what humans thrived on. "Cora," he said, "prepare the signal arrays. We're going to speak in a language only this anomaly understands." Vecra leaned closer to Raltek, whispering in awe. "Do you think could one human really be enough?" Raltek's eyes narrowed, thoughtful. "Not just enough," he said quietly. "He might be all the reinforcement we ever needed." The anomaly shimmered, unaware that the first step of an extraordinary interaction was about to begin. Outside, fleets waited, tense but curious. Within moments, the Andari expanse would witness something no species had seen before, a single human approaching a cosmic enigma not with weapons, but with mind, creativity, and understanding. And in that moment, all doubt faded. He didn't need reinforcements. The human was reinforcement. Aaron Hayes stood at the observation deck of the Thrin flagship, his eyes fixed on the anomaly. The swirling void of energy was unlike anything he had ever encountered, yet he felt no fear. Instead, he felt a sense of curiosity, a problem to solve, a puzzle to understand. Beside him, Cora, his AI assistant, floated silently. Its soft hum filled the quiet of the room. "Cora," Aaron said, tapping a few controls on his wrist console, "map the energy pulses in real time. Overlay them with gravitational distortions and fleet positions. I want patterns no matter how faint." "Processing," Cora replied. "It will take several minutes to compile the multi-dimensional analysis. The anomaly is highly dynamic." Aaron nodded. He didn't need minutes. He had learned to trust his intuition, and in situations like this, intuition often mattered more than precise calculations. Humans had survived on instincts, creativity, and adaptability for millennia. This anomaly wasn't just a challenge of science, it was a challenge of understanding. The alien fleets hovered at a cautious distance, their massive ships glinting in the reflected light of nearby stars. Each fleet represented a different species of the Andari expanse. The Thrin, the crystalline Zelari, the amphibious Koran, and the avian Zyrines. Their commanders whispered nervously through comlinks. None of them had expected a single human to lead this mission. Vecra, still skeptical, leaned toward Raltek. It's foolish. Even if he understands the anomaly, one human cannot direct fleets of this size. It's impossible. Raltek didn't answer immediately. He was watching Aaron, who crouched slightly over the holomap, eyes darting from pulse to pulse. Something about the human's focus unsettled him, not because it was threatening, but because it was undeniable. Humans were unpredictable, but in that unpredictability lay a strength no protocol could match. Aaron finally straightened. All fleets, adjust your formation. Keep a wide perimeter but mirror each other's movements. Do not fire or activate shields unnecessarily. Let's observe first. A wave of confusion rippled through the alien commanders. Some opened their mouths to argue, but a subtle authority in Aaron's voice made them pause. There was something in the human's calm confidence that demanded attention. He gestured toward the anomaly. Watch closely. Every pulse, every fluctuation is a message. The anomaly is responding to your actions, not as a threat, but as a reaction. It's curious about us just as we are curious about it. Treat it as a living system. One of the Zelari commanders, a tall crystalline being named Shira, tilted her form. You suggest negotiation through energy manipulation? Aaron smiled faintly. Not negotiation, observation, adaptation. We mirror its patterns, we introduce small, controlled stimuli. If we approach carefully, it will calm itself instead of destabilizing further. Raltek's tail swished slowly. And you believe a human can achieve this alone? Aaron's smile grew. I don't need reinforcements. I am the reinforcement. Minutes passed as Aaron and Cora analyzed the anomaly's subtle vibrations. The pulse patterns were complex, like a language written in waves of energy. To the fleets watching, it seemed random and chaotic. To Aaron, it was a story waiting to be read. Cora, generate resonance simulations, he said. I want to see which fleet movements create positive feedback, which create disturbances. Then I'll instruct each commander to adjust in real time. Simulation ready, Cora responded. Results indicate that minor synchronized movements combined with reflective energy transmissions reduce anomaly instability by 17%. Larger maneuvers increase fluctuations unpredictably. Aaron nodded. Exactly. We don't overpower it. We guide it gently. Humans understand that subtlety often has more power than strength. He transmitted instructions to the fleets. Thrin ships form a semicircle at coordinates Delta 5. Zelari align with Thrin, maintaining gravitational resonance. Koran position drones to measure pulse variance. Zyrines emit reflective energy bursts at 15-second intervals. The alien commanders stared at their consoles, hesitant. Yet the humans' directions made sense. Carefully, they began moving, following Aaron's guidance. At first, the anomaly thrashed unpredictably, sending waves of energy that shimmered across the fleet's shields. But gradually, the pulses began to stabilize, responding to the synchronized patterns. Vecra's jaw dropped. It's working. The anomaly, it's calming. Aaron didn't take his eyes off the holomap. It's not calm yet. It's learning, adapting just like us. Observe every change, adjust every small movement. Precision is key. For hours, Aaron guided the fleets. He didn't shout. He didn't command with authority. He suggested, observed, and adapted. Every movement was a dialogue with the anomaly. Every adjustment was a question, every response an answer. By mid-cycle, the alien fleets began to notice something remarkable. Their sensors and scanners, despite their advanced technology, were limited by rigid protocols. They could detect, analyze, and react, but they could not improvise. Aaron's human creativity filled that gap. With nothing but insight and intuition, he led ships and drones to positions they would never have considered on their own. Shira, the Zelari commander, spoke over the comlink. Human, this approach, it is elegant. I never thought to use movement and energy in this way. Aaron smiled. That's humans for you. We look for solutions where others see obstacles. The anomaly's pulses shifted again, this time slower, more rhythmic. Its energy waves formed patterns that matched the fleet's movements. The void in space seemed almost aware. Though it was not conscious in the way a living creature was, it reacted predictably to the patterns Aaron created. Raltek studied the human quietly. He does not follow fear. He does not follow protocol. He thinks, observes, adapts. Perhaps humans are reinforcement in ways we never imagined. Vecra could only nod. The human had already proven that a single mind could coordinate fleets in a way no species, combined intelligence could have achieved alone. Hours stretched into cycles. Aaron continued to communicate with the anomaly through subtle manipulations of energy, timing, and ship placement. He noticed something extraordinary. The anomaly was beginning to respond in patterns that resembled curiosity. It pulsed outward, sending controlled waves toward the fleets almost like a test. He turned to Raltech. "It's curious, not hostile, not passive. It's testing us, seeing what we can do. We have to continue demonstrating balance and control. Let it learn we are not a threat, and it will stabilize further." Raltech's eyes narrowed. "And if it does not?" Aaron shrugged. "Then we continue learning, and it continues learning. There is no failure, only adaptation. That's what humans do best." The alien fleets, inspired by Aaron's calm and methodical approach, began coordinating better with each other. Thrin, Zelari, Korun, and Zyrenes worked together in ways they never had before, learning to anticipate reactions and adjust positions in harmony with one another. "Observe," Aaron said, pointing to a series of pulses forming in the anomaly. "Those waves align with our formation. We are influencing it now, subtly, without force. Watch the patterns change. It's responding to cooperation rather than aggression." For the first time, the alien commanders felt something they had never felt before: awe at human capability. A single human mind, thinking, observing, and creating in real time, had coordinated fleets of different species to influence a cosmic anomaly that no protocol could solve. Cora's soft voice interrupted. "Lieutenant, preliminary analysis shows stabilization has improved by 42%. Further adjustments can increase control to over 60% within the next cycle." Aaron's eyes lit up. "Good. Prepare for the next step. We'll introduce minor variations in pulse frequency and fleet formation. Small changes, controlled, to teach the anomaly adaptability and communication." The fleets executed his instructions carefully. The anomaly responded with increased stability, its pulses now almost rhythmic, as if listening to the human's commands and adjusting accordingly. Vecra shook her head in disbelief. "I cannot believe this. A human alone, directing fleets, calming the anomaly." Raltech remained quiet, studying the patterns. He had learned long ago that underestimating humans was a mistake. They were not the strongest, the fastest, or the most technologically advanced, but they were unpredictable in ways that made them dangerous in the best sense. Dangerous to threats, yes, but powerful allies when facing the unknown. Aaron leaned back, observing the stabilized pattern of the anomaly. It was not fully tamed, but it was no longer a chaotic force threatening nearby systems. He had turned confusion into dialogue, danger into learning. "Cora," he said softly, "prepare the record. This is a new form of first contact, even if it isn't a sentient species. Every species, every fleet will study this. Humans are capable of more than anyone expects." Raltech stepped forward. "You have done more than calm the anomaly, human. You have shown us that one mind, one perspective can achieve what entire fleets could not. Perhaps you were the only reinforcement we truly needed." Aaron smiled faintly, glancing once more at the swirling void. He didn't need accolades. He only needed to understand, to learn, and to guide. The anomaly had been a test, not of strength, but of creativity, and humans excelled in that. For the first time, the fleets truly saw the meaning of the title that would later echo across the galaxy. Outside, the anomaly pulsed rhythmically, still mysterious, still powerful, but now calm enough that exploration and study could begin. A single human had turned chaos into cooperation, fear into curiosity, and potential disaster into discovery. And in the quiet hum of the flagship, Aaron Hayes prepared for the next step. The anomaly had more to reveal, and humans always found a way to rise to the challenge. The anomaly pulsed with increasing intensity as the fleets hovered nearby. Its waves of energy shimmered with colors that defied description: violet that burned like ice, green that twisted like liquid, and gold that seemed to hum in harmony with the cosmos. For the alien commanders, the display was terrifying. Their sensors blinked warnings that grew louder with every unpredictable pulse. Yet for Aaron Hayes, it was a puzzle begging to be solved. "Cora," he said, leaning over his console, "track the pulse intervals more closely. Overlay them with gravitational resonance readings. I want to see where it reacts most to fleet movements, Cora hummed. Data compiled. Anomaly shows highest response along these vectors, it said, projecting a shimmering grid across the holomap. Instability occurs where interference exceeds 0.2 units of oscillation. Minor adjustments stabilize it by up to 35%. Aaron nodded. Good. We'll start with small, controlled changes. Observe, learn, then adapt. He turned to the fleet commanders, who were watching him intently, unsure how one human could direct their combined power. Your ships are not meant to attack, he said. They are tools of influence. Move gently, mirror each other's patterns, let's guide it rather than confront it. Raltek's tail shifted slowly, a sign of deep consideration. And if it reacts violently, he asked. Aaron smiled faintly. Then we respond with calm, not force. Humans thrive in adaptation. We improvise where others are rigid. Vecra scoffed lightly. Improvisation against something we cannot even understand. Aaron's gaze didn't leave the anomaly. Understanding comes from observing, not just scanning. Watch its behavior. Every pulse is information. The first wave of energy slammed across the fleets, sending minor surges through shields. The alien commanders braced themselves, ready to order evasive maneuvers, but Aaron raised a hand. Hold, he said firmly. Notice how it reacts to our positions. It tests us with force, not to harm, but to see how we respond. Move too fast and it destabilizes. Move too slowly, and we miss the window to influence it. Slowly, Aaron guided the fleets through a complex pattern of synchronized adjustments. Thrin ships shifted in semicircular arcs. Zelari sent reflective energy pulses. Koran drones measured gravitational distortions, and Zyrines modulated their wing beam emissions. At first, the anomaly flared unpredictably. Waves crashed outward, energy distortions bending the light of nearby stars. But with each cycle, the waves began to smooth. The chaotic flashes became rhythmic. The anomaly responded not with aggression, but with curiosity. It learned from the human's improvisation. Shira, the Zelari commander, tilted her crystalline form in disbelief. It's adapting, not responding to force, but to guidance. How does one human achieve this? Aaron didn't answer verbally. Instead, he focused, watching the pulses and predicting their next movement. He adjusted his commands subtly, ensuring that the fleet's motions were barely perceptible but perfectly timed. In seconds, what seemed like chaos became order, and order began to influence the anomaly's patterns. Cora, Aaron said quietly, prepare Phase 2, controlled oscillation. Introduce slight variations in pulse timing to test stability. The AI assistant projected a grid of glowing lines across the holomap. Aaron pointed to specific nodes. Send microbeams at these intervals. Observe, then correct instantly if instability increases. Keep responses subtle. Raltek leaned closer. You trust instinct over calculation? Aaron's eyes flicked up. Numbers are limited. Creativity is limitless. Human minds see patterns others miss. That is why I am here. That is why humans are reinforcement. The anomaly reacted immediately. Small waves surged outward, stronger than before. Some of the alien commanders flinched, expecting disaster. But Aaron remained calm. Hold steady. Adjust frequency by +0.03 units at nodes 7, 12, and 19. Balance the outer perimeter with microthrusts. Observe energy reflection. The alien ships responded, moving in perfect synchrony under Aaron's guidance. The anomaly paused mid-pulse, almost as if considering the adjustments. Its energy shimmered in patterns that looked almost like intentional design. Vecra whispered in disbelief. It's like it understands what he's doing. Aaron didn't reply. He was too focused. Humans had a gift of intuition that allowed them to connect disparate patterns, to improvise in real time, and to make decisions when the data was incomplete. The anomaly was complex but not infinite. It reacted to the right balance of pressure, release, and timing. Aaron was discovering that balance, and the alien fleets were following his lead. Cora, project a predictive pulse overlay, he said. The holographic map shimmered as lines traced the likely future behavior of the anomaly. We anticipate its next 5 cycles. Adjust fleets to mirror predicted resonance. The alien commanders watched, amazed. What Aaron was doing went beyond strategy. It was artistry, coordination, understanding. He was solving a problem not with brute force, but with empathy, creativity, and observation. Shira's voice trembled slightly. It's beautiful. It's guiding us in ways our protocols cannot. The human mind is remarkable. Hours passed. Aaron guided the fleets through complex maneuvers. Minor pulses, slight rotations, and perfectly timed energy reflections gradually tamed the anomaly's chaotic behavior. Where fleets once panicked at every flare, they now moved in harmony, responding instinctively to the changes Aaron predicted. Raltek studied him silently. The human had proven one undeniable truth. Humans were not only capable of surviving against odds, they could turn impossible situations into opportunities. One human mind had orchestrated coordination among thousands of alien ships, stabilizing an anomaly that none of their combined science had fully understood. Vecra, still incredulous, whispered to Raltek, "I never imagined one human could do all this." Raltek nodded slowly. Humans are reinforcement in ways we do not yet comprehend. He does not need fleets to dominate or weapons to impose order. He uses thought itself as a tool. Aaron leaned back, observing the anomaly. Its energy pulses had become smoother, more rhythmic, almost conversational. It tested the fleets with minor surges, and Aaron responded, guiding them with calm adjustments and precise predictions. Each wave it sent was answered with a corresponding fleet movement, a dialogue of energy and motion. "Cora, calculate efficiency of fleet coordination," he said quietly. "We are at 68% stabilization. Minor adjustments could bring it above 80%. Cora's projection shimmered. "Calculations indicate that adding human-guided micro-adjustments improves stability more than doubling fleet numbers. Your influence is unmatched, Lieutenant." Aaron smiled faintly. "Humans have always relied on ingenuity. This is no different. We adapt, we observe, we learn, and we influence outcomes in ways others cannot." Outside the observation deck, alien commanders were silent. They were witnessing something unprecedented. Their combined fleets, their advanced technology, and their centuries of strategy were being guided by a single human, and it worked. Shira, still observing, whispered to her peers, "We underestimate humans at our peril. One mind, one human, has achieved what we could not even imagine." As cycles passed, Aaron introduced small variations, testing the anomaly's adaptability. Each time, the void responded predictably. The alien fleets adjusted with near-perfect precision under his guidance. What had begun as a chaotic, dangerous event was now a synchronized operation, a dialogue between human ingenuity, alien cooperation, and a cosmic mystery. Raltek finally spoke aloud, his voice carrying through the comms. "Lieutenant Hayes, you have done what none of us expected. You have turned a threat into a controlled system without firing a single shot or deploying a single weapon. You are reinforcement." Aaron nodded, not in pride, but in quiet satisfaction. The anomaly was not defeated, it was engaged. It was learning, adapting, and responding as he had taught it. And in doing so, he had demonstrated something profound. Sometimes the most powerful force in the universe is not technology, strategy, or numbers, but a mind that can see, understand, and adapt where others cannot. "Cora," Aaron said softly, "prepare for the final stabilization cycle. We'll test one last set of coordinated maneuvers to solidify patterns." Cora's lights blinked in affirmation. "Ready, Lieutenant." The fleets adjusted as he directed, mirroring his careful, subtle commands. The anomaly's pulses became gentle waves, radiating outward in predictable harmony. The void had been transformed from chaotic threat into a system they could study safely. Vecra, looking at Aaron, whispered, "I cannot believe this. One human controlled this." Raltek's voice was calm but full of awe. "Humans are remarkable. One mind can indeed act as reinforcement." Aaron glanced at the anomaly, then at the alien fleets. Calm, focused, and precise, he allowed himself a small smile. The challenge had been immense, but it had been conquered, not with force, not with numbers, but with human ingenuity. Outside, the anomaly shimmered like a living entity, calm yet mysterious, ready to reveal more in the cycles to come. And in the quiet hum of the flagship, Aaron Hayes prepared for the next step, confident that the human mind would continue to turn impossible situations into extraordinary solutions. The fleets, once skeptical, now whispered among themselves. The void no longer thrashed uncontrollably. It had calmed, responding to his guidance, yet it was clear it held more mysteries. Its energy now seemed purposeful, deliberate, almost like a rhythm, as if it were waiting, watching, and learning. "Cora," Aaron said, his voice calm but alert, Run a scan for structured patterns in the anomaly. Look for signs of intelligence or recurring sequences that indicate comprehension. Analysis in progress, Cora replied. A soft hum filled the room as streams of data were projected into midair. Graphs, waveforms, and energy maps floated across the hollow display. Lieutenant, there are consistent variations in the pulse patterns. They respond differently to similar fleet actions. Probability suggests an intelligent feedback mechanism. Aaron leaned closer, nodding. It's trying to communicate, not in words, not in forms we know, but in energy and resonance. It's testing us. Outside, the fleets remained in formation, ready but cautious. The alien commanders exchanged uneasy glances. They had followed Aaron's lead for hours, witnessing the anomaly stabilize under his guidance. Now, its subtle, almost deliberate shifts unsettled them. None had faced a being or system that could respond intelligently to action in this way. Vecra, still skeptical, whispered to Raltek, "It's impossible. A natural phenomenon cannot have intelligence. It's just energy." Raltek shook his head. "Perhaps your understanding is limited. Not everything intelligent wears flesh or feathers. Some minds exist as pure energy. Humans may be our only hope in interacting with it." Aaron didn't need to hear the conversation. He already knew the truth. The anomaly was alive in a way, not biologically, but intellectually. It was learning, observing, and testing. And he needed to communicate, gently, logically, creatively, before anyone made a misstep. Aaron tapped his wrist console and projected a holographic interface. Tiny energy emitters floated around the observation deck, calibrated to produce minute pulses of light and frequency, perfectly synchronized to the anomaly's current pattern. "Cora," he said, "let's try structured feedback. Translate anomaly pulses into a simplified energy language, then respond with mirrored signals. We'll introduce basic questions and see if it reacts predictably." The AI assistant responded, "Simulation ready." Probability of recognition, 72%. Aaron activated the emitters. A soft glow pulsed outward, matching the anomaly's rhythm. For a moment, the anomaly paused, then responded with a mirrored pulse. It was subtle but unmistakable recognition. The alien commanders gasped. Even the Thrinn, who were accustomed to battles and crises, looked astonished. The anomaly was not only intelligent, it was curious about them and perhaps even cooperative. Aaron nodded, keeping his focus. "Good. It recognizes our intent. Now let's establish a simple dialogue. Structured pulses, questions and responses. Observe its pattern, then adjust." For the next few cycles, Aaron guided the fleets through a complex dance of observation, energy reflection, and resonance. Every time a ship moved or emitted a pulse, the anomaly reacted, mirroring the action with subtle changes. Each response revealed more about its language, and Aaron began to decode the rules of its communication. "Cora," he said quietly, "record all responses. We are building a lexicon of patterns. Each cycle increases our understanding and influence." The AI assistant projected the responses, showing loops, mirrored pulses, and occasional deviations. "Lieutenant, it adapts quickly." Deviations indicate intentional complexity, perhaps tests or questions of its own. Aaron smiled faintly. "Exactly. It's not just reacting, it's testing us. Let's continue." Hours passed in a rhythm of observation and interaction. Aaron guided the fleets with subtle commands, balancing precision and improvisation. The anomaly sent pulses that occasionally disrupted the formations, but Aaron anticipated them, directing ships in real time to maintain stability. Vecra watched silently, amazed. I cannot believe this. He predicts its reactions before they happen. It's like he's thinking ahead of the anomaly itself." Raltek nodded slowly. "This is why humans are reinforcement. Not because of numbers, not because of firepower, but because they can think, adapt, and create where others cannot." Aaron tapped his console, projecting a new series of patterns. "Let's test communication further. Introduce symbolic variations, simple sequences. If it mirrors them correctly, it's confirming understanding, not just repeating instinct." The anomaly responded with increasing complexity, forming sequences that clearly reflected the signals Aaron had introduced. It was learning from the interaction, demonstrating that it could comprehend structured patterns, an intelligence encoded in energy and resonance rather than biology. Shira, the Zelari commander, leaned forward, her crystalline form shimmering. "It's incredible. We have never encountered intelligence like this. It's responding to signals but also testing us, learning from our responses. And the human, he guides us flawlessly. Aaron nodded. Exactly. Observe, adapt, and communicate. The moment we act out of fear or misunderstanding, the balance is lost. We are not here to control it. We are here to converse. The fleets followed his instructions, moving gently, responding with careful precision, and allowing the anomaly to test them in turn. Each pulse, each reaction, each adjustment became a part of the dialogue. The anomaly then sent a new type of pulse, one that did not simply mirror fleet movements. It emitted a series of complex, cascading waves that traveled in spirals, overlapping, interweaving, and forming patterns that were almost like sentences in a language of energy. Aaron studied them intently. "It's asking questions," he whispered. "Not words, not symbols, but questions. It wants to know what we are capable of. It wants to understand intent, purpose, and adaptability." Raltek's scales bristled. "Questions from a phenomenon?" "Yes," Aaron said calmly. "It wants interaction, not conflict. It's testing our comprehension, our creativity, our problem-solving." He tapped a sequence on his wrist console, sending back a series of pulses that mirrored the anomaly's structure but added slight variations. It was a human response, a way of saying, "We understand. We are engaging. We are learning too." The anomaly responded immediately. Its pulses shifted rhythmically, mirroring Aaron's adjustments, and then adding new variations of its own. It was a conversation, a dance of energy between human-guided fleets and a cosmic mind. Vecra turned to Raltek, whispering in awe, "It's communicating with it. A human is communicating with an anomaly, and it responds." Raltek nodded, his eyes fixed on the display. "Humans think differently. One mind, one perspective, can unlock what thousands of years of combined alien knowledge cannot." As cycles continued, the anomaly's pulses became more complex, and Aaron's guidance more subtle. He didn't simply command the fleets, he facilitated understanding. He showed the alien commanders how to mirror, how to predict, how to respond with calm observation rather than fear. "Cora," he said, "calculate projected responses for the next 5 cycles. Overlay them with fleet positions and resonance data." "Projection ready," Cora replied. Probability of accurate interpretation by anomaly, 89%. Efficiency increases with human-guided adaptation. Aaron smiled faintly. "Humans excel at adaptation. We see patterns where others see chaos. We improvise when others are constrained. That is why I am reinforcement." The anomaly then did something extraordinary. Its pulses aligned with the fleet's positions perfectly, forming a sequence that mirrored the exact layout of the ships. It was a form of acknowledgement, a recognition of cooperation, not as threat or dominance, but as understanding. Raltek spoke aloud, voice full of respect and awe. "Lieutenant Hayes, you have done more than stabilize this anomaly. You have communicated with it, guided it, and taught our fleets to follow a human mind. You are the reinforcement we never expected." Aaron nodded, his focus never leaving the anomaly. "It's learning. We're learning. Communication does not require words, just understanding. This is the next step in exploration, seeing intelligence in unexpected places and adapting to it." Shira, Vecra, and the other commanders watched in silence. A single human had guided fleets, interpreted energy intelligence, and initiated first contact with a being that defied comprehension. For the first time, the alien fleets truly understood the meaning of the phrase that would later echo across the galaxy. Outside, the anomaly pulsed in harmony with the fleets, a living dialogue of energy, understanding, and cooperation. Aaron Hayes had turned chaos into communication, threat into opportunity, and observation into partnership. And in the quiet hum of the flagship, Aaron prepared for the final phase. The anomaly had more to reveal, and he knew that the next cycles would test not only his intellect, but the very nature of interaction between human minds and the universe's mysteries. Humans, he thought, always find a way. The anomaly shimmered before Aaron Hayes, a vast swirl of energy that pulsed with intelligence, curiosity, and rhythm. After hours of careful guidance, subtle adjustments, and patient observation, it no longer thrashed unpredictably. Instead, it moved like a living system, responding to fleet formations and energy signals in a language Aaron had learned to understand. He leaned against the observation deck railing, his mind racing with possibilities. For the alien fleets, this was unprecedented. Their combined technology had never been able to influence such a phenomenon. Yet here, A single human had turned chaos into harmony, not with weapons, not with fleets, but with insight, creativity, and observation. Raltek approached him quietly, eyes reflecting the anomaly's glow. Lieutenant Hayes, the anomaly is calm, stable, and dare I say, it is cooperative. Your methods, your mind, they are extraordinary. Aaron smiled faintly. It's not about being extraordinary. It's about understanding, observation, and adaptation. Humans survive in extreme situations because we improvise, we learn, and we find solutions others cannot see. Reinforcement doesn't mean numbers, it means perspective. Vecra, who had been skeptical for most of the operation, now looked at him with awe. I cannot believe this. One human guided fleets of 4 species, stabilized a cosmic anomaly, and communicated with it. How? Aaron shrugged. I observed, I listened, I responded. That's all humans do. We don't just see what is, we see what could be. That's why I am reinforcement. Outside, the fleets were arranged in a pattern dictated by Aaron's guidance. The anomaly's pulses followed them perfectly, spiraling around the ships, sending subtle waves of energy that communicated balance and cooperation. It was a living bridge between alien intelligence, human ingenuity, and cosmic phenomena. Shira, the crystalline Zelari commander, turned to her peers. This is remarkable. The human mind has coordinated all our fleets with precision we never thought possible, and more than that, it has interacted with a being or system we could not even comprehend. Raltek's tail shifted slowly. It is rare to find a mind that can see patterns where none seem to exist. Humans, one mind is capable of more than our combined fleets. Aaron activated a series of small energy projectors around the deck, each producing pulses that mirrored the anomaly's new patterns. He began to test more subtle communications. The goal was not control, but understanding, an exchange of information, a dialogue across species and energy forms. Cora, he said, map all responses. Let's see what it wants from us next. The anomaly is intelligent and it is curious. If we engage properly, we can learn more than any fleet or probe could discover. The anomaly responded instantly. Its energy pulses formed intricate sequences, spiraling and reflecting, as if acknowledging Aaron's intent. It had moved from chaotic threat to intelligent participant, responding to input rather than reacting blindly. Vecra whispered, It's almost like it's alive, like it can think. Aaron nodded. It can in its own way. Intelligence does not always require biology. Sometimes it exists as patterns, as energy, as understanding. And humans, we recognize it, communicate with it, and adapt to it. Hours passed as Aaron refined the dialogue. The fleets had become extensions of his perception. Thrin ships mirrored his commands, Zelari pulses responded to his adjustments, Koran drones reflected micro-variations in energy fields, and Zyrines provided resonance signals that completed the system. The anomaly, now fully engaged, pulsed in response to the smallest signals. It sent sequences that Aaron interpreted as questions, testing intent, asking for proof of cooperation, and gauging creativity. With each cycle, he responded, combining subtle fleet adjustments, energy emissions, and timing to demonstrate understanding. Raltek watched in silent awe. No fleet, no technology, no strategy could have achieved this. One human has created cooperation on a scale that surpasses all our knowledge. Shira nodded. It's beyond anything we imagined. We have followed, and it works. One human has influenced 4 species, fleets, and an intelligent anomaly. Aaron glanced at the anomaly, then at the fleets. It's learning. We're learning. That's all reinforcement ever is, helping systems succeed, providing perspective, and guiding understanding. Then came the moment Aaron had been waiting for. The anomaly sent a massive, cascading wave of energy, more complex than any before. It radiated outward, pulsing through the fleets, not violently, but deliberately, almost like a question in energy form. Aaron studied it closely. Its pulse patterns were a test. Could the human and the fleets respond with understanding rather than fear? Could they demonstrate creativity and adaptability in perfect harmony? He tapped his console. All fleets' minor adjustments mirror the spiral pattern. Add variations of frequency at 0.03 intervals. Observe and respond with resonance. Ships and drones shifted, micro-adjustments in unison, following Aaron's guidance. The anomaly's pulse paused briefly, then responded with mirrored sequences. Its complexity increased, but so did the human-guided fleet's coordination. Raltek leaned forward, eyes wide. It is acknowledging the human, not just obeying commands but recognizing understanding. One mind is enough. Vekra's voice trembled. It's incredible. The human mind, it's shaping outcomes on a scale we cannot imagine. Aaron nodded. We are not shaping it, we are interacting. Communication, cooperation, adaptation. That is what humans bring to the universe, not weapons, not armies, insight. The anomaly, now fully engaged, sent waves that rippled through space, a living display of energy intelligence. For the alien fleets, the experience was transformative. They had followed Aaron's guidance and witnessed firsthand the power of a single mind capable of observation, improvisation, and creative problem-solving. As the cycles concluded, the anomaly stabilized completely. Its pulses had become predictable, coherent, and responsive. It no longer tested the fleets aggressively. It mirrored them, responded to them, and communicated in a subtle, harmonious pattern. Raltek stepped closer to Aaron. Lieutenant Hayes, you have done more than we could have imagined. You did not just stabilize the anomaly. You engaged it, learned from it, and created cooperation across species and phenomena. You are the reinforcement we never expected. Aaron shook his head slightly. I'm just a human doing what humans do best. Observe, learn, adapt. Reinforcement is not about numbers. It's about perspective and understanding, and that's what humans provide. Shira spoke softly, almost reverently. We have underestimated humans. One mind has achieved more than our combined fleets could ever hope to do. The fleets, now calm and coordinated, moved in quiet patterns around the anomaly. Ships of different species communicated instinctively, following Aaron's guidance even as he stepped back, letting the system operate smoothly. The anomaly's energy pulsed around them, a living bridge between intelligence, creativity, and cooperation. Vekra finally admitted aloud, humans truly are reinforcement, not in the way we thought, not in numbers, not in power, but in mind, ingenuity, and understanding. Aaron glanced at the anomaly one last time before preparing his shuttle for departure. The anomaly would continue to be studied, now as a cooperative system rather than a threat. The alien fleets would carry the knowledge of human ingenuity and approach across the galaxy, forever changed by the actions of one human mind. Cora, Aaron said, prepare shuttle. We've done what we can here. The anomaly is stable, fleets are coordinated, and communication is established. Time to move forward. Shuttle ready, Cora responded. As Aaron departed, the alien commanders watched in awe. Raltek spoke quietly, almost to himself. One human, one mind, has accomplished what centuries of preparation and technology could not. We have learned that reinforcements are not about numbers. They are about insight, perspective, and creativity. Shira added, this human has shown us that intelligence, observation, and adaptability are forces more powerful than fleets, more powerful than weapons. A single mind can shape outcomes beyond imagination. Aaron piloted his shuttle away from the anomaly, watching the fleets return to standard operations. In his mind, he reflected quietly on what had happened. Humans were often underestimated. They were not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most armed, but they had minds that could see patterns, adapt instantly, and improvise solutions where others failed. As he looked out into the expanse of stars, Aaron smiled faintly. He didn't need reinforcements. He was reinforcement, and the universe in its vast complexity had just learned what a single human mind could accomplish. Before leaving the sector, Aaron transmitted a final message to the fleets. Humans adapt, humans observe, humans imagine. Reinforcements are not about numbers. They are about perspective. Remember this as you explore the universe. One mind can achieve more than entire fleets if it is willing to learn, to understand, and to adapt. The alien commanders recorded his message, knowing it would shape interstellar cooperation for generations. The anomaly pulsed one last time, a soft acknowledgement of the dialogue, the understanding, and the trust that had been established. As Aaron's shuttle disappeared into the stars, the fleets remained in awe. A single human had guided them, communicated with a cosmic intelligence, and demonstrated that the true power of humanity was not weapons, speed, or technology, but creativity, intuition, and mind. And in the quiet expanse of the Andari expanse, one undeniable truth emerged. He didn't need reinforcements. The human was reinforcements.